Welcome back to the last Deepwoken lore channel on YouTube. In case you didn't know, this video is a somewhat direct follow-up to my previous video, which I made on deep owls and the nest mind. I'll link the video in the top left and during the outro if you want a full scope on the origin of owls, the nest mind, and how that all connects to the layers of the depths. If you can't be asked, I understand, so I'll do my best to run it down for you shortly. Before I get onto that though, here I am posted up like a beggar once again, requesting you to subscribe and like the video, as I'm still a relatively small channel. Taking a few seconds out of your day to support in whatever way you can goes quite a long way. Thank you for everything thus far, I appreciate it a whole lot. With all that jargon out the way, I won't hold you any longer. Let's dive straight into the reality behind the depth's current and future layers. So, let's recap what I mentioned in the last video on the topic of owls and the nest mind. Deep owls are tied very heavily to their corresponding oath in-game, Vision Shaper, and it's by attempting to become a Vision Shaper that the player's character first interacts with the hive mind behind every deep owl, the nest mind. The nest mind, while its origins and powers are completely unknown, is at the very least higher than us on the ladder of influence. The nest mind spouts off a whole wall of exposition for us to dissect, but the most crucial part of its dialogue is a statement that humans misunderstand the wider world of Deepwoken. Specifically, the nest mind states the following: "This is what you mice might call a layer, though your kind seems to misunderstand that which lies outside of its cage, thinking it ordered, sequential. We stand within a place that acts as an interstice between human consciousness, where my kind makes our nest." Now, this is obviously inferring that the player's knowledge of the Deepwoken lore is ultimately incomplete and likely vastly incorrect. While I've seen many people state outright that they think this means everything we've been told by the developers or we've deducted ourselves in-game is a blatant lie, I disagree. The nest mind clarifies that our kind, the player, misunderstands what lies outside its cage. So if we lean into the animalistic comparisons that the nest mind is drawing here, our cage as humans would be the surface world in Deepwoken, the luminance. If the luminance are our cage, this would mean that we only misunderstand everything surrounding the luminance, mainly the depths. Now, I believe that the nest mind is specifically referring to the depths here because of its following comment. The nest mind shames us for believing in order and thinking the world around our cage as sequential. Sequential refers to following a particular order, and what part of Deepwoken follows an order? The depths. Specifically, the concept of the depths having 9 layers. So, the depths isn't a series of 9 layers like we thought. Well, what does the nest mind say that the depths actually is? This is going to sound like a cop-out, but I have genuinely no way of accurately answering this. However, I can posture 2 major possibilities that could answer why the nest mind is so adamant that our division of the depths into layers is false. First is that the depths cannot be divided into simple layers. While there are 2 sections of the depths that vary wildly, they leak into one another and thus can't be separated. Number 2 is that the depths can be divided into larger layers, but there are lots of smaller dimensions in between or inside each large section of the depths. Regardless of how you interpret the nest mind's words here, we do know for a fact that entering the layers of the depths isn't as easy as simply moving down each layer like a ladder. This is a map of the world of Deepwoken created by the developers. I also showed this in my video on mudskippers, and you can clearly see that the Eternal Gale, which is the second layer of the depths, wraps around both the first layer and heaven itself. There is pretty clearly some truth to the nest mind's claims that humanity simply doesn't understand how the world of Deepwoken works. Now, here's my theory. Both theories that I presented earlier are true at the same time. That might sound insane, but think about it. What is the opposite of sequential and ordered? Something ever-changing. The Void Sea above ground has been speculated to be something like an invasive species, and has heavy ties to the depths. So what if the depths isn't just an inanimate location? What if the depths was alive? My personal theory is that the depths is constantly shifting. While it chooses to maintain the major layers like Skyphosia and the Eternal Gale, I believe that the depths is a living creature that is purposefully changing to confuse and consume anyone delving too deep. This would explain the nest mind telling us that the depths isn't ordered, it's a living creature capable of change. The depth's layers, for all we know, might have looked completely different a mere 100 years before our arrival. If the depths is a living creature with seemingly endless potential for change, this means that there could be tens, hundreds, thousands, or millions of layers to the depths. Obviously, you'll never get that deep, but perhaps that's the intention. Perhaps delving deeper would find you in the clutches of another drowned god, or a universal collapse, or a multiversal fracture. The possibilities are endless, infinite, so long as the depths continues to evolve. But that's just my theory. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for patiently waiting for this video after its first part released. I was going to turn this out in less than a day, but decided that the first video needed some more time in the pressure cooker. I probably won't do a two-part series again. This really only happened because I was halfway through writing the first video and realized that I wasn't going to, well, have it be concise enough. The support I've been receiving recently has been astounding. It's enough to bring a grown man to tears. Thank you all so much. There's a lot more to come, and I'll announce further plans in future. Stay blessed, and be well. Until next time.